Hey guys, Brent Abernathy here. I got a special guest joining me. I've got Evan Melcher today. Evan was first year Hall of Fame producer. In his first year, wrote almost $500,000 worth of business on his own personal pen with no prior experience in the insurance business, no prior experience in sales. And Evan, we're going to talk about phone objections and how to overcome certain objections on the phone. And I look back when I was brand new, and that was one thing that I was concerned with. I was like, well, what do I say if they say this? Or, what do I say if they come back with that? And I got so wrapped up in that it caused me to overanalyze things. And Evan books 30 to 40 appointments every single week consistently. So I know that you get some objections, and I just want to talk a little bit about it. So first of all, thanks for joining us, and just talk to the men and women a little bit about, your mindset as far as overcoming objections. Then we'll run through how you overcome them, but just kind of your thought process and mindset on it.
Yeah, first of all, I think mindset with your dial day always begins with just the amount of leads that you have and being over prepared in that aspect of it. I play it safe. I'd rather get more leads than not have enough, and that right off the bat is very key. And you're going to get objections all day long, and as long as you minimize the objections as well as you can, that's all it's about, is just getting over them and getting right back to booking the appointment. But as far as mindset goes with it, again, I'm having enough leads, which helps, but also just understanding that I'm going to get hung up on, I'm going to have disconnected phone numbers, the whole works. It's just moving on to the next. I'm not getting tripped up throughout the dial day. I'm just picking up and continuing to dial until I have what I need.
Right, and you wrote over almost $500,000 worth of business in your first year, and to hear you say you're gonna get objections. I get objections, right? It's if anybody out there ever says that they don't get objections on the phone, I think they're flat out lying. But the biggest difference is in a top producer like yourself, or say a mediocre or average producer, is just you overcome those objections and actually end up booking the appointments. Whereas that mediocre, that agent that they don't overcome it and they get hung up on, and they wonder why they've only got 12 appointments booked for a week instead of 30, right?
Yeah, and to add to that, I also think that a lot of agents, they get hung up on, or they don't book an appointment, and they get hung up on that fact, that aspect, and they let it translate into the next few people that they get on the phone.
Got it. So somebody hangs up, doesn't book an appointment with you, it could impact how you sound, your tone, your cadence, how quickly you talk, how slow you talk, how angry you are. It could impact you booking or not booking the next 4 people you talk to because you're so hung up on what person A said.
Yeah, so just really trying to be level-headed in that aspect. Just like while we're out in the field selling, don't get too high when you book them, don't get too low when you don't, just keep it moving.
Love it. That's awesome. So let's go through, and I know you dial a lot of different types of leads. You dial mortgage leads, you dial internet leads, you've done Facebook final expense, you've done it all. I'm just going to throw some different objections at you. There's only so many things that these people can say to you on the phone. They're not going to just pull something out of a hat that we've never heard before. So I'm just going to kind of run through some objections and how would you go about booking the appointment, and tying it down and locking it down. So if I were to say to you, Evan, I'm not interested in that anymore.
I always start with the word perfect.
Okay.
That's just something I picked up from someone else's training. Perfect. My job is just to get this information to you as morning or afternoon better. So I'm just really just kind of avoiding what they're saying, and I'm always resorting back to finding their schedule and then giving them, I got a 7 or an 8 p.m. available. Which one of those works better for you? I'm just literally making them pick a time slot. Okay, so you're agreeing with whatever objection they're saying, and then just continuing to move forward and not really paying a ton of attention to it is basically what you're saying. Right, just not making a big deal of it.
Okay.
And that's, again, very similar to in the home. You get an objection, whether it's in the home or on the phone, and yeah, just agree and proceed with confidence.
So if I said, yeah, I was just trying to get the quotes. Can't you just give me the numbers over the phone?
Perfect. That would make my job a lot easier, but I am required to come verify your ID. Is morning or afternoon better for you?
Well, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah, perfect. That's what I'm trying to figure out for you. Is morning or afternoon better for you?
See, I love how simple you, and I'm going to go through some others. I love how simple you make this business, because too many people overcomplicate it. They overthink it, and you're just super simple, and it works, and you don't make a big deal out of it, so they won't make a big deal out of it. You know what? I've already got that taken care of.
That depends on my mood.
That depends on your mood.
This one, I mean, if I'm feeling good and confident, I'm going to say back, perfect. I'm actually one of the sales managers in the area. So if you got it taken care of, that's going to make my job easier. Just go ahead and get that out for me. I'll stop by tomorrow for about 5 minutes. Is morning or afternoon better for you?
Okay.
So if I'm confident enough to roll with that, that's what I'm going with.
If you're not confident enough to roll with that, which I love that. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be confident enough, but if you weren't, what else would you roll with that?
I mean, just simply, okay, that's awesome. I am still just required to get this out to you. This morning or afternoon work better for you.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, and I remember early on when I was listening to training, I don't remember where I got it from, but they always just said, like you said, there's only a certain amount of objections that they can throw at you. So as you continue to get better, they're not getting any better at objections.
Right.
They're not getting better at giving them to us, but we're just getting better at getting around them.
Right.
So just the repetition, I think, is no doubt.
It's the repetition, but it's also the way you go about it, I think, because it's not necessarily what you're saying or what an agent says to overcome the objection. It's the fact that you go right back to booking the appointment. You're not sitting there. I think too many new agents, especially, they overcome that first objection, but then they pause and they wait. And then guess what? Now the client throws another one. Instead of going back into, so anyway, they've got me in your area tomorrow, would 4 or 5 work better, right?
Right, and I think early on too, if someone told me they got it taken care of already, I'd sit there and be like, oh, how much coverage did you get? Or, oh, what's your monthly payment? Just making a big deal about the objection they threw at me. And again, now we're swimming around it.
Right, so you're not going into sales mode at all on the phone. Your one goal, all you're trying to accomplish when you're dialing is just trying to find a time where you show up at the house and they can be there too and book the appointment. What else? Oh, scheduling. So let's say, they say tomorrow's no good for me.
Like if I tell you I'm in your area Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, so if you say I'm in your area, is that how you do it? You typically book for 2 days?
Yep. So it looks like they got me dispatched out in your area both tomorrow and Wednesday. Now they like to pick on the young single guy. They got me working crazy hours. What time do you guys typically get home from work on a Tuesday?
Typically it's about 5:30.
5:30. Okay, cool. Looks like my 6 is booked, but I do have a 7 or an 8 p.m. tomorrow. Which one of those is better for you?
Well, tomorrow's just not a good day at all. We're super slammed after work.
Okay, yeah. Actually, now that you say that, my schedule is really busy tomorrow night, anyways. That'll make it easier for me. Wednesday, you want to do the 7 or the 8 on Wednesday? Which one's better?
7 works better. See, okay, got it. So, I think a lot of times with scheduling, that can be sometimes the hardest one to overcome. But you find out information, that you can use against them as far as like you find out, hey, what time do you get home from work? Well, I've already told you 5:30, right? So, anytime after that's good. But you will have the client. A lot of times these clients, it's crazy. They think that. Like they're the busiest non-busy people I've ever seen in my life. They think that tomorrow's no good because I'll never forget. I had one lady, this years ago. She said, "Tomorrow's no good, honey." I said, "What you got going on tomorrow?" She said, I got to go to Walmart tomorrow. It's Wednesday. It's my day to go to Walmart. And she said, I said, what time are you doing that? She said, I do that at 9 o'clock, early in the morning. I said, okay, that's all you got going? Yup. Okay, well, no worries. I got something available between 1 and 2. You'll definitely be home by then. But it's like they think that they're all day booked, and a lot of times they're not.
And I had one very similar the other day where he's like, yeah, tomorrow just definitely will not work. I've got a doctor's appointment. And I just simply, oh, perfect. What time do you go in for your doctor's appointment? And it was 12 o'clock noon. And I said, awesome. So I'm out there tomorrow morning. Do you want to do a 9 or a 10? Catch you before you go. And I booked it like it was nothing. So again, I think it was just because I minimized, what he's throwing at me. And I'm just, again, we're figuring out when they're going to be there. And we're going to throw a couple time slots at them. They're going to pick one. That's when we're going to show up.
The other thing I want to highlight that you do a great job of when you are overcoming the objections. It's not so much what you're saying, but it's how you're saying it. A lot of times agents will, when they get objections, they'll speed up real quick, or they'll start getting real loud, or they'll start getting combative with somebody on the phone. You're just that even keel, that same tone, like, okay, perfect, no big deal. And that elicits a better response from the clients when you do it that way. So you got anything else you want to share with the men and women that are out there maybe getting ready to get on the phone for the first time, and in their mind they're worried, hey, I'm just worried about what they say, how to get good on the phone, how to overcome objections, things like that. Anything else you want to share with them?
Yeah, I just think that as far as your first dial day, just buckle up, having the right mindset that it's probably not going to be super easy. I think back to my first dial day where I dialed the phone, 300 to 400 times on just a big old stack of old leads, and I booked a half appointment. I called it, but I just think that it does take a little bit of a leap to just get out there and start picking up the phone and dialing, but just go do it and just don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. You're gonna get better as you go.
So your first day, I love that you share that. Your first day of dialing, you dialed 400 or 500 times and you booked a half of an appointment. Like you struggled on the phone.
I was a train wreck.
You were a train wreck.
Yeah, I was not prepared as much as I should have been. I was one of those guys that I didn't get the e-apps ready. I just didn't listen to training. I knew I was going to come in and work really hard, but I was not nearly as prepared as I should have been, could have been. And it just took listening to Dom Rogers was my favorite phone script to listen to on the podcast app when I was driving back to and from ties where we dialed. That's what I plugged into, and that's kind of what helped me get over the speed hump a little bit faster. Right.
So you immersed yourself in. Getting good on the phone is it's everything in this business. If you get good on the phone, guys, you will have success in this business. But it's not going to happen overnight. It's experience. It's going through it. It's learning. It's immersing yourself in the training and programming your mind to act quickly no matter what they say to you on the phone, right? Okay, cool. Well, listen, man, I appreciate what you do with the amount of business you write, the amount of families you protect. I'm proud of you for everything that you've done in this first year of business with us. And I look forward to what the future holds. And I appreciate you sharing as far as how to overcome objections with the agents.
So thanks for having me.
All right, buddy.